Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter.
Hi, everybody.
I was going to say, Happy Easter, everybody. How are you, Dr. Black?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. What about yourself?
I'm good, actually. I was woken up by the Easter Bunny at 5 a.m. and then couldn't get back to sleep until 6:45 a.m. Then Harry woke up at 7 a.m. But luckily I got to have a little nap after that. And right as rain.
Outstanding.
I know. I'm feeling good today. Good this morning. We're halfway through the long weekend. Haven't had to think about work for a while. My work phone would be flat, and I don't even care. A quick roll call. GRB, Ugly Man, Reefing Stream on Reef Girls channel, or the Bearded Fish Whisperer here on this stream, or both at the same time. Definitely both. Dr. Black's in the house. Fishy Fun 57. How are you? GRB, who got chocolate? I'm allergic to chocolate, so Easter has never meant a lot to me. Sheps Aquatics, how are you? Awesome to keep seeing you around. Seen you heaps lately. Thank you. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sheps Aquatics has just joined our Oz Fish Tuber Facebook page. So welcome aboard. Redfish, Bluefish, how are you? Griffin Fish Room, how's things?
Future's looking bright, Griff. Very bright.
How's the future? Yes. Yeah, some magical bunny comes in the future. I've got a couple of connection issues, which I will just straight away say. So I'm probably looking a little bit laggy. But I can assure you I'm as good looking as always. So no, not to stress. Not on. That's all right. I'll come back out when they message me. I'll message them now. Harry's trying to link up with someone on Minecraft, which could explain the lagginess. So how have you been, Blackie? What's news?
My big rib's dead.
What?
Yeah, lost both my ribs now. I no longer have a breeding pair.
What do you think happened?
I think they still had worms, and I didn't treat them quick enough. And the whole juggling of fish and tanks thing, I think they copped a bit of a hiding from the jaguar, so may have their worm issues may have been compounded by beatings.
That's annoying. So the worms and then putting each other under stress just eventually took them, you reckon?
Yeah, and having to move them, juggle them around in other tanks and all that kind of stuff. I do have 3 surviving fry, so hopefully I can get a nice golden-tailed female to get down to Thirsty to try and hook up with his nice, beautiful male. Fingers crossed.
It's crazy, this fish hobby. Like about, was it 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, you had an abundance and Thirsty had an abundance, and how much it's changes in 12 months.
Oh, look at the way that they were breeding all through summer. I had a new bunch of fry every 2 or 3 weeks, and they were just prolific. And I just, out of thousands of babies, I've kept 3 alive. So it is a problem that you encounter when you breed fish in tanks with other large predatory fish.
Yeah.
That not all the babies are going to survive.
Well, that's the thing. I've got the Crebensis here, have new babies, and Dad's doing a really good job, but there's, he banishes Mum from the from being anywhere near them at any stage, and then there's a couple other cichlids in there, so there's no way I can imagine them really growing up there, but I've already got too many, so I don't know what to do. Teresa Cookie, welcome, and Tinra, how are you? And Thirsty Tinra, Rabbit.
Teresa. Thirsty, happy Easter to you too, bro.
Happy Easter. I just started watching Fish Keeping Jamaica's video, and Thirsty Rabbit is the host, but then I had to quickly, I went, I need to go live shortly, and I need to eat breakfast. So I'll definitely continue to watch that. GRB, how is the little goldfish? Actually, that was one thing I wanted to just say. Throughout the stream today, would love it if you guys chuck questions at Blackie, myself. I think we're going to have a couple other Aussies jump up while we're sitting here, but ask as many questions as you like. Aquamate Goldfish, he is good. He's doing really well, actually, GRB. I put him back in with the 2 large goldfish. Initially, I put him in there and they picked on him. And the next day, he was a lot worse for wear, so I took him out. And I've tried him in about 4 different tanks trying to find the best home for him. And then I had him with some of the baby cribs, and I had to take him out of there because there's a bit of fin nipping. So I went, this is it. I have to put you with the goldfish, and just sort of cross my fingers. And he's doing really well. Unfortunately, one of the other goldfish now has what I can only assume is dropsy. So I don't know. Everything I read about that, there's not much you can do for it. I keep trying to feed her. I keep thinking it's a girl. May not be. Shelled peas, but still super bloated and sort of pine coning. I hate it when fish pine cone. It looks really terrible. Like, I really feel for them. Something's definitely not right. Chris, Multi-Tank Addiction, welcome. Galar's Fish Tank.
G'day, Galar. How are you? Blake, if I didn't say g'day to you, how are you?
Blake. Sorry, I saw Blake's name come up before, and that's what prompted me to say that we will have some other Aussies joining us. So for that, Blake, and Thirsty as well. I put the link in the Hangouts. You right for a second? I'm just going to have to call this person and help Harry jump online with his friend.
Sure, no worries. In my back 40, yeah, Jace. I am, in fact, some new strain of farmer. I'm a new age farmer. I farm other people's animals and look after them, apparently. That's how it goes. Lady who owns the livestock seems to rely on me to message her when her animals are not looking the best. But, you know, I don't mind. A little bit of animal interaction's good for the soul. A little bit of barefoot walking around in the paddock, connection with the earth. Yeah, it's good. It is good. A karma farmer. I like it. That's a shirt. Put that on a shirt. What else? Oh, it's not quite Easter Sunday in the US&A yet, is it? So no one's got all of their chocolate, rabbit poo and whatnot. I accidentally ate all of mine last night. Kind of regretted it a little bit when I woke up this morning. Hello, Bendigo Balaclava. How are you, Cooker? Good to see you, mate. That's the benefit of going barefoot very frequently, ugly man, is that the soles of your feet become tougher than leather. So yes, very rarely do I notice spiky things sticking into my feet until much later on that day. GRB, Feste are no longer divided. I slipped the divider a wee bit sideways the other day so they could get past it. And there has been violence, there has been aggression, but genitalia are also on display. I have a strange feeling that my male might be a little bit too young and doesn't quite know what he's supposed to do. Doesn't know that he's the one that's supposed to dig a patch. He's got this little clear patch dug out behind his big rock. But every time he tries to lure her into said little patch, she seems to come out shaking her head like as if to say, not good enough. She wants more clear space to drop eggs on. He comes out all very proud and stuff. But yeah, she's not interested. But she tolerates his bashings. And yeah, after a few days of moving the divider slightly askew, I just pulled the whole thing out. They may want a little bit more privacy, so I did find a decent sized little terracotta pot. Gave it a bit of a scrub down yesterday because it has been outside for a while. And yeah, I might gonna have to take the lid off the tank to get that in. So at some stage today, I'll pop that in and see if that triggers a little bit more rumpus behaviour.
I request a Blackie Jam stream. Did you answer GRB's question?
I just finished answering that, yes.
Sorry, I just saw that. Aqua, mate, just looked like we walk out of your fridge. Just restocking, mate. No, I'm trying to set up Harry's... Because of this isolation thing, and those with kids will know what I'm talking about, especially young kids, they are going a bit nuts at home. So the only real social thing he can do is to build Minecraft with some of his school friends. So they're trying to jump on, but every time we try and organize it, it's always gets really tricky until I have them on the phone and say, now click this and click that, and then bang, that works. Muppet 929. I think I saw
G'day,
a relation in here. Bendigo Balaclava. Good, happy Friday, fellow humans. You're way
G'day,
behind.
Guppy Guru. How's it going?
Guppy Guru, how are you? What country is it Good Friday? He's in the future and he's still living in the past. To those that have just come in that weren't here before, we just wish a happy Easter to everybody. I hope you get lots of chocolates and things that you're not allergic to.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why Easter is still widely celebrated, even amongst agnostics and atheists, is the whole chocolate side of it.
I think you're right. And I think, Josh, Aussie Fish Adventures, how are you? I think that it is super important this year, which I know a lot of Christians and stuff will be like, oh, I can't go to church and all the things that they would normally do over this break. But I reckon it's one of those things that it feels a little bit normal. And I think for the kids to know that it's, can still get eggs and all that sort of stuff, that at least for the morning, it's normal. What's not normal is that in 2 hours, we're having a stream with all the family and having lunch.
Yeah,
So
right.
that will be interesting. I'm sure it'll be funny. But it's actually good because one of our family members lives in Canada. So she'll be there just like all of us. We'll all be the same.
No.
John Johnson, happy Easter.
G'day, Josh, other Josh and Jono. How are we, boys?
Guppy Guru, kind of sad we won't be able to do much tomorrow with family, but it's better to miss one holiday than lose someone for the rest of them. That's exactly right. And that's the thing. I think that's the way to look at it. Doing the right thing. I don't know. Have you been following much, or you're not reading too much into all this stuff at the moment, Dr. Black?
I have a listen every now and then, try and listen with objective ears and not try and react too oddly. I did, oddly enough, though, I woke up this morning and I was very snotty and I had very scratchy lungs, and I started thinking, oh, that doesn't bode well. And then I realized that I actually bought the wrong tobacco yesterday. I bought a completely different brand to what I'd normally buy. It wasn't even the checkout's mistake. For some reason, I just had a different brand name in my head. And often when you do change a smoking product, it affects you in such a way. Yeah,
that's true. I've quit for about a year, other than the occasional self-indulgence, but no more buying things and smoking a bunch a day. Nathan Fishboy, welcome. Hope you're all braving the cold. Yes, it is pretty cold. Yeah, I think it's 9 degrees at the moment.
Yeah, well,
it's freezing.
It's really really sunny and clear here, but it's quite windy as well, and it's a very, very chilly wind.
Lottie, hiya, Hatman. I'm just going to be Hatman from now on. Lottie. Teresa
Hello,
Cookie,
Lottie.
GRB's answered your question, but it is interesting. I know a few people have tried to go out and doing some shopping, and then they're stopping by like a Kmart or something to get some things like that. We did. What did we do last week? We sat down on a Saturday night and played an acting game. We didn't play it the right way. Didn't make a lot of sense, but basically you pick up a card, you're on an egg timer and flip it, and you have to act out what you're doing, and everyone else has to guess. And then yesterday we made Easter hats. So we're having an Easter hat parade on the stream. So we sat down and made hats, and we'll see who wins that one. So it is, if not one thing, it's sort of making families do some different things together, think outside the box a bit, which is
that was one of the worst things about Scungy's art exhibition being postponed, is that it was being held in the back room of this awesome board game shop, and it had the most amazing selection of board games and card games and all sorts of weird stuff that you just don't see in the normal shops. And I really wanted to do a tour video of all the different games and stuff, and it would have been ideal to have that done and out of the way, promoting all of these different weird board games before such an event as this, where people are stuck indoors with not much to do other than play board games and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had no idea there's so many zany board games and card games out there, and the concepts behind them and stuff.
I know there are a few. There's a few people talking about. I'm sure you're all familiar with Cards Against Humanity. That they were playing that online as well. So they were doing a.
G'day, Pam. How's it going?
It's not letting me to tell.
Okay.
You got a good stash of board games, have you, Guppy Guru?
In a minute. Okay. Sorry about that. Pam, how are you? Welcome. Just a reminder, there's 23 people in and only 14 likes, so hit the like button while you're here.
I just did.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud, actually, that there's 23 people here, even though there's that other stream going on with a lot of the regulars. That's Aqua Kid. Where are we? Yes. Oh, Aqua Kid behind. Yes, he's having trouble with his Minecraft. That's probably going to be the topic of the stream today. Harry's issues with Minecraft. Blake, how are you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
How's it?
You're a little bit blurry. Now, I don't know if that's me or...
I think it's me. My Wi-Fi is just waking up for the day.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, because I've been a bit slow this morning too. Maybe there's something going on down south.
Yeah, I did yesterday and it was acting up. So I think the Wi-Fi down, or not the Wi-Fi, the internet down here has been a bit funny.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I couldn't understand any of that. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that's anyway.
Lottie, I like that orange fish lady. I know exactly who you're talking about. I had something in mind, but then Harry, he's thrown me. When we're talking about Cards Against Humanity and playing it on a stream with people, there's a few things. There's like some app running around called House Party, and I think you can, like, it's actually pretty invasive. This is good. We can sit here and have a chat. This other one on your phone just dings and says someone's around. And if you click on it, they can just click on your name and bang, they join your phone. So all of a sudden you go, oh, hello, who's that? And like you can play cards with each other and that sort of stuff. Do you remember the old apps like Words with Friends? Yeah, I think they're coming back into fashion a little bit at the moment too.
Yeah, anything that you can 1v1 people on and take your time with.
Yeah, exactly. All right. You sorted yourself out, Blake?
No, I guess not. Can you hear me? No.
Not very well. You sound like a robot.
Yeah.
how much data you got on your phone. Maybe you need to make a hotspot with your telephone.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Are you hearing an echo, are you, GRB? I did want to. I was waiting for Blake to jump up because he put out a video last night that I haven't watched it yet, but I wanted to ask him a bit about it. So when he does sort that out, he does sound like Peter Frampton, yes, but you got Alan Clark. Oh gosh. So I've been working. I think I've finished a video for the tank that exploded at the local fish store. Exploded, like one whole side of the tank just blew off. And it wasn't a little tank; it was a 12-foot tank. And got a bit of footage of when I walked into the shop, and all of a sudden this massive tank was empty, and it was a disaster zone. And then I was lucky enough to be there when they were fixing it, and then some after footage. So it's I'm excited to release that one. And unfortunately, that store has just gone out of business forever. I think this was sort of like the final nail in the coffin with everything that's going on at the moment. So trying to make a little bit of a tribute to them as well, because they're good people, and it always sucks when you lose a local fish store.
Yeah, especially when they're a good one.
Absolutely. I know, though, that they won't be lost to the industry, which is exciting. So I think they're still going to be around doing some things. Bodgy, welcome. Good morning.
G'day, Bodgy. And Thirsty, I think your issue is not necessarily internet, dude. I think you've got a audio thing going on in your telephone.
It's the mic. When he sits...
Blake's issue is definitely internet-based at the moment. Once we get you sorted with a nice Bluetooth headset for your phone, you should be laughing, mate. And g'day, Bodgy.
I'm curious about Lottie's question. If I get a fish tank, do I get one of them up there? Which one are you talking about? Aqua, mate, I put a 300-watt heater set to 20 degrees for my cold water goldfish tank. Do you think that's sufficient enough over the winter? I lost some Murray Rainbow that produced something fluffy, some sort of like a fungus.
Did it produce the fluffiness before it was dead or after?
Yeah, good point. I would think that's pretty good, actually. That's what I'm relying on with my goldfish tank, although it's set at 28 degrees at the moment, just to hopefully try and assist with the sick goldfish that I've got now, because there's not a lot I can really do other than if there's bacteria there, try and make it uncomfortable. You look that. I'm not hitting on you, but you look way better, Blake.
Oh, thanks.
I'll be back in a second. I'm going to just go help Harry out for a second.
I shouldn't look too good because I woke up 24 minutes ago, so we're going well today.
How do you get a sleep in like that with two small children?
They're not here. I'm here by myself.
Ah, outstanding. No wonder you got a sleep in there.
Yeah, I was overdue, so basically I hit upload on my video, and here we are.
Well, your internet certainly seems to be functioning much better now.
That's good, because I was curious, like, if it was a thing to do with the actual computer, but we're off the hotspot now, so it must be a dodgy Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think mine's improved. When we were about to start, I had to delay the start for about 5 minutes because it just went, no, that's not going to work. Had to reset everything.
Maybe there's a loose connection, like in my hardwire 30-meter cord thing.
Oh, okay. So you're actually plugged in.
I was, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
the cookie.
So I might have missed something there while I was switching over connections and stuff. Were you going to ask me something about the
I was, but
Golden Wonders?
Noticed that Lottie's objectifying us, so now I don't know if we can continue. Yes, give me a second so I can find the video. Bodgy, if I change my name to Aqua Beard Mate or whatever, what happens if I shave? Do I have to delete my channel?
And Lottie's only human, you know. You can't really argue with that.
May also have poor eyesight as well. Now,
Probably.
Blake's Aquatics.
G'day, Mr. Beast. Thank you. Legendary work as usual, sir. And Scuffed
Yeah.
Fish Tank, how are you, mate?
So I always like to catch up on what you guys have been up to during the week. And Blake, you always do a lot of videos during the week. I just noticed here how to breed the golden wonder panchaks. Tell us a little bit about the video, and also just a quick comment. I'm liking the theme that you're running with all the thumbnails now. Notice they're all
thanks.
looking sort of uniform. It looks good, especially the photography of the fish.
Yeah, that was a tip from Aquarium Co-op. So on that, he started up that business page or whatever, and one of the things that I took out from that is on all of his thumbnails, there's like three or so different colors. There's a fly in here. 3 or so different colors, so that even if you don't read who it's from, at least you know that it's an Aquarium Co-op video. Like, obviously, I'm like an nth of a percentage of as good as him, but I just thought if we get started now, then you sort of build an identity on your thumbnails, so people can always know that they're yours.
I think it's a good idea. It's hard to commit to something. I think I'd keep trying to do something different every video, and I'm still haven't found anything that I found 1 or 2 that I'm happy with, but it doesn't seem to work on every video. It looks boring on some, and it works. I think it comes down to the screenshot or the photo that you can use.
Yeah. So a lot of my photos are just from Google and stuff like that. I just try and find one with a black background, or I'd remove the background from it and then put it on a black background, something like that. But yeah. What was the second part of your question? Sorry.
Just a little bit about the video. So it's about breeding golden panchaks. So what brought that on? And how long
I've had these guys for ages, and I just sort of bred them accidentally a few times. Like they're in with that limnophilia, which is like looks like a fox's tail kind of, and often like I'd take a trimming from that and replant it in another tank, and then I'd find a little baby panchak. So I've got a little group of them, half a dozen or so, and when you were here doing your tour, you sort of looked at them and said, "Oh, they're really cool. I want them." And I said, "Well, give us a few weeks. I'll throw them up in there, and we'll potentially breed them on purpose." So done that now. I'll have about 20 soon, by the looks of it. So easy fish to breed.
I'll just quickly say congratulations, Josh. Work up to 600 YouTube subscribers and 600 Instagram followers. So good work.
Nice one, mate.
Well done, yeah.
Lorenzo Scuff Fish Tank, how are you? Welcome. Tampa Tom Fishing, how are you as well?
G'day, Tom.
That's a great video, I think. Sheps Aquatics said he enjoyed the videos, thinking of getting some. What are really good tank mates for golden panchaks? I really love them. They're one of my favorite fish, but I don't know, they're not like you can just chuck them in a small tank, or if you put them in a big tank, you have to have a certain style of tank to put them in, don't you?
Yeah, obviously you need a lid because they're big jumpers, like kind of mini golden arowanas or whatever, if you like. Mainly they've got massive mouths, so like I wouldn't keep them with endlers or anything like that. But yeah, they're just like any sort of top dweller fish. They're big enough that a lot of things will sort of leave them alone, and yeah, so I keep them with my epistogrammas. They do fine with like maybe a larger tetra, like a black skirt tetra or a Keri tetra, something like that. But for the most part, they just keep to themselves. So just make sure you've got Glad wrap over the top as a lid, pretty much. Like not actually, but something that tight, and you'll be fine.
Because what temperature do they like?
Just normal top tropical temperatures. I don't even know what that tank is on. Probably mid-20s or 77.
Because I had them with discus for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But the concern was discus like the water were a lot warmer than the panchaks are like the water.
Yeah.
and they were fine for a couple months, but then I got some sort of like fin rod or something, and the panchaks just almost overnight went from being fine to not looking good at all. And yeah, I was still waiting for my 4-foot tank at that stage. So I was just about, like, I'd ordered it. I was just waiting for it to be delivered. And once I ended up moving the discus into the 4-foot, I just didn't go and get any more panchaks again. But when I saw them at yours, I was like, oh, I love these things. They literally do look like mini arowanas. More color though.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And it doesn't really come across in the video, but they've got these emerald green eyes that at nighttime and stuff, as you're walking back in, if you go past them with the torch or whatever, it does look pretty cool. But maybe that's only me that sits in my fish room in the dark.
Good morning, Rumble.
Hello,
wow,
how you
that
going?
was quick on the button.
Oh no, I've been waiting.
Just had
I
time to put
remember
your shirt
last
on.
time you were stuck just one row down and you sat there for ages, and I finally realised you were there. Making up for it. How are you? Happy Easter?
Happy Easter. Yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Been
happy
working
Easter.
on a lot of videos and a few different projects at the moment, and it's been good. Been enjoying what's happening on YouTube lately too.
But nobody tell the kids it's Easter because it's tomorrow. Easter. They don't know the difference. And it works out better. I had to prioritize what's this called now? Aqua and Friends. I had to prioritize this over Easter.
Well,
Acclimate Easter. Acclimate Easter.
That's why I got up at 5 o'clock. we were
Well,
done and dusted by 7:30, and I went back to sleep for an hour.
with everything going on, it doesn't. Nobody knows what day it is, so they have a day off tomorrow as well. So it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
Yes.
One of my neighbours just messaged me in this group message thing saying, buckle in, everyone. Restrictions extended till May 11 and no travel till the end of the year. I don't know where these things come from. I find it really funny that I try and stay informed in the mornings. That's all I do. I'm like, all right, 10 minutes, find out what's going on. And all I read is, hey, we're getting on top of this. Numbers are going down. Today they went up slightly because we brought in a whole bunch of people from overseas that we needed to organise an isolation for them. And then I'm like, I start to feel like, okay, we are starting to get on top of this. Not that I expect life to go back to normal, but then I get messages and people on the phone and stuff saying the polar opposite. And you just go, I don't know whether people like the sensationalism of it all or I'm just being really optimistic. Sorry, I had to have a little rant. I'll get that out there anyway. So what's news for you, Rumble?
I think the problem with what you're saying there is there's so much fake news at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really pissing me off, to be honest, and Channel 7 and Channel 9, the Herald Sun, which I'm not sure, I think it's the West Australian where you are, it's all clickbait news titles. These are the things you need to know so you don't get COVID-19. That sort of stuff. And you're like, oh, I better click on it. Like, it's just sensationalist media and it's crap and half of it's dribble. And the other thing is I think they're trying to make it all confusing and put so many scenarios up in the air for the average person so that you keep clicking and you keep reading and you keep wanting to search through and keep giving them airtime. Whereas really you should just be listening to the government and what they're saying, and the rest of it is kind of just crap.
Yeah, I caught myself doing that about 2 weeks ago, that just like my top search history on Facebook was Channel 7 News, and I was like literally going to their page and like scrolling their page like twice a day.
Yep.
But I kind of broke out of that habit now.
There's just too much crap, yeah. Like Bendigo Balaclava, that's my dad. He's like, watch and listen to the ABC only. Total Tropicals TV, I love that. That's the best comment of the stream so far. My fish are staying at two different ends of their tanks, trying to keep within social distancing.
Did you see that? There
Any-
was a picture getting around yesterday of a dude with a hat, and it had all pool noodles off it
Nah, I missed that.
to keep people at a certain distance from him.
That's great.
That is good.
Oh, Dr. Black sent me the funniest image yesterday, which I really, really want to get. It just reminded me then. Where is it?
We went. You got it?
Sorry, I was just going to say I'm doing a series that most of you know, the Aquamate experience, where I interview one person as I can, and he sent this thing through while I was interviewing Rack yesterday. I want that T-shirt now. The only reason I didn't buy it is because it's like $30, which is fine, but it was something like $55 postage or something like that because the Aussie
wow.
so crap. I'm like, oh, I don't want it that bad.
Just make one.
That's a good point, actually. I should just send that into Vista Print and get them to do one.
So I've got an interesting one for you guys.
Yep.
So the Peacock Bass, we've got batch 1, which was successful. Batch 2 is infertile.
Oh.
Now,
Maybe
I
it
thought
was
that
the other male.
No, the other male's never been in there. But I didn't think Peacock Bass would be like that. I thought that was just flower horns.
Interesting.
But they're still guarding the plate.
So
They're like a grumpy.
it wouldn't, I don't know, I could be completely wrong here, but it wouldn't have anything to do with you had the batch, you've removed them, and then now like they're scarred from it, or they're like they're not comfortable, or they're overly protective, or they're stressed out by it, or something like that.
I don't know. I think it might. The one thing I think it might be, because I've heard of it in the flower horn world, is that the female has laid that close together. Like she only laid 10 days apart. Maybe the male was still a bit tired from round 1.
Hasn't recharged his batteries yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's asking it for the second time, so before he asks it 18 more times, should we get to Bodgy's question?
Yeah, I will. But first, we'll go back to Thirsty, and then we'll skip over Bodgy. I'm disgusted, and a platinum membership in my club. I'm talking about the Rabbitohs. I'm thinking Thirsty. And if they play, you'll cancel the membership forever. That's fair enough. I can't wait for footy to be back, so I'd love to see how it would work. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it can happen. But I also think that
talking about doing it on an island, aren't they? Like the UFC's talking.
Yeah, I reckon that's a smart move because the pay-per-view will pay for the island in the end, and the dude will just own an island for nothing. We'll go down, so we'll skip over. So what did Bodgy want to say? Just said
I
what?
wonder with that though, like, will the players take their partners on the island as well and their kids and all that? It's an interesting one.
Apparently there's some facilities in the Northern Territory that Japan donated to Australia for some, I don't know why, but for some reason that can house 3,000 people with its own shopping complex and gyms and pools and stuff that if you wanted to run a competition, you could almost put everyone in this place and then play locally and sort of quarantine them and let them still go, and including their families. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Can any of you guys think of a plant and small fish safe species of monster fish? Is that English?
Yeah, kind of. He wants like a giant fish like that, like his Jack Dempsey. Obviously, Jill's gone through and eaten all of his small fish, so now he's looking for a replacement. The only thing I can think of, and maybe I'm not right in this, but you know how like Joey put in a Asian arowana with all those ember tetras and stuff?
Yep.
Maybe like a Saratoga?
Yeah. Because is that because the arowana and Saratoga are surface feeding, so they're not going to go for things below them?
I think what Joey said was the theory was that an ember tetra is not worth chasing down for an arowana. It's not big enough of a meal.
It's not even biscuit sized.
Yep, makes sense. I can imagine though if you had multiple arowanas where they'd start acting like dolphins and pushing them into schools and picking them up.
Speaking
My,
of that, there's some really awesome videos of orcas doing that, like killer whales.
Yeah.
And like one of them will be behind a ice block and there'll be all these seals, and the other one will like rush so that all these waves go across the top and wash the seals off. It's really
They're
great.
meant to be smarter than humans, orcas. But that,
Well, they're smarter than some humans, that's for sure.
I haven't seen them invent very much stuff though, so well, there might be a city under there that we just can't see yet. Get some convicts to put with the Jack Dempsey was one thing.
So my giant gourami doesn't eat small fish, but it would plow plants.
Yeah. I like giant gouramis. I don't think one day I'll have a tank big enough. I reckon they're awesome.
G'day, Tropico. How are you, brother?
Fish Tropic.
And
This
Kiwi
is
Mermaid,
Sparta.
didn't say hi to you before.
And yeah, it is nice to see Total Tropicals TV on the stream. I haven't seen Total Tropicals too often, so always welcome. I found Frontosa fairly placid, never eaten any of my small fish, although no one like me keeping fish that don't belong together. Well, yeah, actually, that is a good. What is one fish tank that you have that you would go, these fish normally shouldn't go together, but you've done it anyway?
All of Bodgie's fish tanks.
I'm talking about your own fish tanks. What have you got in the fish? And Dr. Black and Rumble.
I used to have like Texas and Plymouths with Africans.
So that, yeah, the Americans with Africans.
Most of my tanks are species only, so yeah. But
Yeah.
I do have all of my like leftover Americans together. Like I got Jack Dempsey, Flowerhorn, breeding pair of convicts, and a jag together, and that hasn't been a bloodbath yet. Oh, and GF
Why do you reckon it hasn't been a bloodbath? Because they were all little, or when you got them, or
Nah, put them in like the convicts were already breeding before they went in and all that. So I think there's just a heap of caves in there, so they all keep to themselves.
they've got enough spots yet?
But
G'day, Jack and
every
Dan.
day I'm waiting for it to turn. Like I'm not gonna sleep on that forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that-
Jack and Dan, how are you?
it can turn overnight. Once that pecking order can change entirely.
What about you, Blackie? Have you got a tank that you've done one thing that's, I don't know, down here it sounds weird, but up there I don't know if it is that weird, but involving an ex-rental property?
Oh, yeah, well, I did dig a massive hole in the backyard and I had a bit of everything in there. That was pretty wild.
So you had an African pond, didn't you?
Well, I had Africans in there, but I also had convicts and bristlenose and plecos and sharks, as in silver sharks and red tail sharks. So many different fish were in that pond.
Did they have to fill that pond in?
Well, I filled it to the best of my ability when I left, but obviously I didn't fill it enough because after all of the palm fronds and whatnot slowly decomposed, it still left rather a large divot in the ground that they didn't like.
I love that. Bluegill
What
and
did they
bass.
cost you for that one?
Hey?
Did they charge you for that?
No, they didn't charge me. They just blacklisted me, so I couldn't rent another property for a long time.
Hey, Chewy, welcome as well.
Chewy, Bluegill, how's it?
I was going to say, with asking my question before, the one that I've got that's weird right now is the electric yellows and the crevensis together. As I speak, the crevensis is chasing the yellow away from the fry. Where are we? Jack's on spring break, so we can get to chill and catch up with things a bit finally, and hope you're all doing well. Thanks. Same to you guys as well. It's now we have a bit of a break. I've found there's some time to do some things that I keep saying I'm going to try and do in the fish room, like drop my camera on the floor while I'm talking. I can see I'm short.
Every time I read Jack and Dan's channel name, I get derailed in my head because I start to think about Jack and Diane and a little ditty about Jack and Diane.
Some American kids growing up in the heartland.
Back in a tick.
So you can enjoy that one, Jack and Dan.
I always thought that song was weird because my mum's name is Diane and my granddad's name is Jack. And I'm like, that doesn't add up.
Oh, wow.
Is that other stream still going?
Who cares?
So I just had a bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, we
I need to
noticed
get a new
Cyclone
tripod.
Rumble went through the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still using the toilet brush tripod with the missing leg. So hang on, that way.
Yep.
It's got a toilet brush hold handle
Just to
cable
hold it.
tied to it.
That's so
It's a
good.
little bit front heavy, so you've got to like lean it back and then tilt the camera forward.
I love the little things. Like I don't have a proper mic holder for this, so that's just double-sided tape.
I can't hear you.
So it's got like a $60 mic stand and then some tape holding the $100 mic.
Hey, Aldi had a microphone stand the other day. That
Oh,
was real
really?
cheap. $10 or something.
This is good. I just need the right clip. I have one, but it's just a different connection. That's all. I really want to get one of those ring lights that you got behind you and have a bit of a play with that.
Wrong way. Yeah, it's just like
Oh, you got it, did you?
like
yeah, not because I'm a rock star or anything. Just I thought it would be good to zip tie like cameras to it and lights and stuff because you can get it really high.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I didn't even think about that. I could do that with this.
Because it's really hard to find tripods that go that high.
Thanks,
Cheaply.
Fishy Fun 57. I'm going to put that up there so that if anyone watches the replay, they'll go, are they talking about I better not. I don't want to cause issues.
that's actually not a bad idea, Blake. I think my tripod only goes to like 5 foot high.
Yeah. So like,
How high?
but
Yeah.
I forgot to say. So Josh, I don't use that ring light anymore
Why?
because I got these like
Oh, that's right.
these giant box light things, makeup tutorial lights.
That's the only thing. Like, I like the ring light because I can see it in the background. It'd be easy to sort of pack away, put somewhere, but something like that, maybe.
That makes sense because you said it was in the background, and I was like, "There's nothing in the background. What are you talking about?"
Oh, because it's in the picture. I think just because I've got fish tanks here, and then the rest is a garage. I like try and keep everything in this sort of corner, and I could imagine that would work. But yeah, I'd like to, because right now it would be good that it'd make up for just only having this light over here. Like the other day, Therese was like, "Oh, he actually does have fish tanks out there. He's not just pointing at a window the whole time." Into the stream. Zen Ginger, welcome. How are you? Oh no. Dr. Black, what's next on your channel? You're working on any videos at the moment?
You know, working on videos is such a loose terminology. I've got,
I don't know.
footage. I've got lots of footage, but working on them actually implies that I'm sitting down at a computer chucking stuff together. Not a lot of that has happened lately, but I've definitely still got a good 3 or 4 sitting there waiting to be worked on.
Oh, that's good. I'm a bit overwhelmed at the moment with what I've been trying to do. That I messaged Blake last night. I'm like, all right, I finished one of them. Maybe today or tomorrow, I reckon I can finish the other one, and then I've got one that I still got to do some more shooting for. I haven't mentioned it yet, and I think I've done well, 50 minutes. But I'm pretty pumped, and I'm going to probably be doing a lot of researching or interview practicing because we're going to have Swisky on the channel next Saturday morning, same time as we had Rack yesterday. So for those with the chat with Rack, that's a good. They should do that for a stream. It was awesome. I learned lots about Rack and lots about the fish keeping industry and the history of it as well as his journey. And it went for like almost an hour and a half, but it felt like we were only chatting for 15 minutes. And we got some feedback from some of you guys saying that it was a good chat. So it was awesome. So check out that stream if anyone's got a link. Otherwise, I'll post it in a second. But then, yes, next week we're doing exactly the same thing with Swisky, who's someone that I look up to on YouTube and on that platform. I will ask him a bit about fish, but I'm going to probably go off the rails and ask him a lot about how he makes his videos because he's got some cool equipment and cool tips and tricks. He's already helped me just by talking to me. I just sent him a couple questions and he gave me some answers, and he's already changed the way I can do a couple things, even just with my phone. So I think that's something that will be beneficial to everyone as well. But yeah. I'm excited about all that stuff. And then also, yesterday did a collaboration with Mike from the Fish Tank Barn, Aqua Funk, and on the King and Queen Cichlids channel, which I think that video is doing pretty well. It came out yesterday, and it was awesome. I got to show off the Grabensis on a different platform, and I think we may have a couple other Aussies featuring on future episodes of that as well too. So I think that's why I'm all pumped and feeling good about YouTube at the moment. There's lots going on.
Yeah, it is a good segue. I do want to congratulate you on the chat with Rack yesterday. I thought it was one of your best. So yeah, I thought I messaged you after, but I guess publicly, kudos, and yeah, it was a really fun one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that one.
Awesome. That was funny because as I said on the stream, legitimately, I don't normally write down questions, but while he was talking, because he gives you so much, I was like, all right, hang on, I've got to ask more about that and that and that. And then I'd ask one question, and then he'd answer the next 5 questions that I wrote down in the one. And I'm like, I've got nothing again because he just answered everything I was going to ask. But it still flowed, and it was still really easy to talk to him. So he's a super nice guy too.
He's definitely a very humble guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things actually that I wanted to touch on now that we have you here, Blake, was a thing that we talked about in depth was Project Piaba, and it got me thinking, and I'm sort of embarrassed to say I don't know of anything similar down under, but you mentioned something in the chat, and I was curious about that and was thinking we could have a little bit of a look at that while we're all having a chat now.
Oh yeah, so it's not, I guess, to the scale of Project Piaba, but there's this thing in Tassie called BioBlitz.
BioBlitz.
Let me bring it up.
Yeah, I'll try.
And I wanted to start up to it last year, but the time just didn't work out.
Shep's out of the voice, so we'll see you soon, Shep.
See you, Shep.
See you, Shep.
Yeah. Tarkine BioBlitz. And basically, since Tassie is like one of the last preserved environments left in our country, there's two different groups that go. One is solely, and the other one's open to like volunteers and stuff. But
can you share your screen from there?
Yeah, I'll just bring it up.
If you could, because I'm looking and I'm seeing National Geographic BioBlitz and stuff. I'm like, I don't know which one's which. And also, just while
Yeah.
you're looking at that, I think Sheps Aquatics is the newest member of the Fish Tubers Facebook page, Oz Fish Tubers Facebook page. So
Nice.
yes, it's good. We're getting more
All right.
content creators from down under on there as well.
Uh,
And yeah, Dan, that'd be choice if you guys come down. We'll make something happen.
Absolutely.
Big tour to catch up with all of us, though. You'd have to be, put in a couple of months.
Well, maybe we could try and if you try and schedule it for next year's Underwater Pet Expo, then we'll all be there as well. Aqua Funk, how are you? Nice work on the video with Scott and Liz. It was
G'day.
good to be on a video with you.
Pardon me.
all right. So this is from last year. Can't remember what was on there, but it was somebody's event or something. And so what is it? A festival of science and nature. Blah blah blah. Discover and record as many things. Main goals of this event: survey the biological diversity of the Tarkine and share knowledge about biodiversity and ecology of the region. Field studies at sites, and basically you you move along in camp and you want to find out if the trout are just mowing down all the galaxids and all that stuff. So base camp, but yeah, it was really they've done it for a number of years by the looks of it, and
All right, so
I don't know, it's not.
is that so that's like native fish just in Taz, or is it?
Yeah. So Tarkine is a river system in Tassie.
Yep.
There was a map here somewhere. Obviously, we're going through live here, and it's been quite a few months since I've looked at this website. So, but yeah, this is kind of the closest thing I think we have.
Do you ever get worried when you're in your fish room and all of a sudden you start hearing more water than normal?
All the time.
I don't know. That's not as bad as silence.
True.
I think just one of the pumps near me just sort of kicked in a bit more. Okay, it sort of depends on how immersed it is.
I
Hey,
remember
Jeff,
I thought I was being real smart putting my air pump in the back shed. So silent fish room, no air pump noise. And then I put it out there and I was like, wow, the bubbles are really loud.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll put the link down below in case anyone wants to check this out later. But
yeah, I'd definitely like to check it out. And I think you said you were interested in actually participating in something with that this year before all this stuff happened. Is that correct? Or is that
it was the end of last year. I think what happened was there was just somebody's wedding or something clashed with that weekend because it's just over one weekend.
Yep.
Um,
I'd be very keen. After talking to Rack yesterday, it really it did inspire me and made me think that is one side of the hobby that I'm not paying enough attention to. Like it's really, it's good to learn about all these different fish and stuff. But if I don't plan on. Did you get him, Blackie?
I think I got two.
I don't
but
plan
on that
too many more fish
on that
tanks
topic.
But yeah, go.
Yeah, on that topic, with Angfer Vic, I was due to go on a collecting tour with them, but stage 3 came in 2 days before we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
So, we were gonna go. Where was it? Around your way, I think. Actually, Flowerdale or somewhere like that. So
Yeah.
So it would have been fun, but I'll have to save the waiters for another day.
So, what is the go with Angfer? Like, do you become a member as like a paid membership thing, or is there a certain amount of things you've got to do for the group?
Nah, they're pretty keen for anyone to sign up. It's not too expensive, and similar to the other fish clubs in Victoria. You just go to meetings and stuff if you want, or you can be a digital member. Or are you right, Rumble?
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah,
Keep it
hang on.
Moving bloody ladders around. I'm trying to save the fish here. But the main thing that I find beneficial for my membership of Angler Vic is every month they release like a it's kind of like a magazine article thing, and at the end of the year you piece them all together and they release a hard copy book. I can probably grab the book. Yeah, I'll grab the book. One sec.
Yeah, cool. Total Tropicals, thank you for stopping by. Don't be a stranger. It was good to see you.
Tropicals.
Yeah, Ugly Man's Reefing. Wow, that's the first time in ages I've seen someone using an old school fly swatter. Did you ever do the trick? Oh, look at that. It's a hand. That's cool. I think it was around Halloween or something. It did the trick where it like rubbed licorice all over the fly swatter and then walk up to people and lick it. This looks like it's got a bunch of dead flies on it. Super delicious.
So, I mean, the green screen's going to mark up this book, but the book is called Fishes of Sahul, and it's a weird name, but Sahul is like the shelf that before all the tectonic plates shifted, we were on the Sahul plate. So it's kind of like Australia, New Guinea, all that. And yeah, there's a lot of you're not going to be able to see anything, but actually.
Cool.
So there's some really nice photos of
The
rainbow fish and all that.
messes it up a bit.
Yeah.
But that's showing you all the Australian native, not just Victoria, or is it Victoria?
1 second.
I'll stop showing off that you've got Rode microphones.
Yeah. I'll turn the green screen off.
That's better. And I'll present you. Yeah, so that's not just Victoria, is it? That's Australian natives.
Yeah, it's Australia or New Guinea, but they give you areas, like this. So this 7-spot archerfish is from all the northern side.
I really want archerfish one day. Imagine archerfish in a big paludarium, like a massive one.
Mm. But yeah, that's basically documentation of the collecting trips and all that. So I would be out of my depth for sure going on one, but I think it would be fun anyway. And I sort of prefaced that it would be in a capacity of making a video on it. So they were like, yeah, bring your camera, bring waders, whatever you want to do.
I'd be super keen to join you and do that as well. So I'm going to have to look into that today, I think, because as I was saying that, Rack talking about all that, I feel like that's an area where you can sort of really bring a new understanding of the hobby to people. Rather, it's really good to talk about the simple things of your first fish tank and stuff, but to understand it from the beginning of the cycle for, I suppose, where fish come from, why some are endangered, why some aren't, native, like natural effects on the fish, and then also what impact we have on the fish. I think it's really interesting.
No, I'm not sick, Zen Ginger. just the natural
He's always
nasally.
like that.
Yeah.
God, the flies down here are ridiculous.
Sorry about the loud ladders during your chat there, Blake.
We're just trying to, save the galaxids here, the spotted galaxid. Or
My missus sent me an alarming message, but it had no context because I only saw it drop down with one sentence of the whole message. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? So I like ran inside. And she's like giggling and laughing and like making a joke about it. I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble for something.
JRB Archie, my archer fish, is still spitting at people as they walk near his tank. It's hilarious, especially if people are unaware. That would be hilarious.
Well trained.
That's like the best archer fish you could ask for, really.
That archer fish could have its own TV show.
Here you go, Josh. I'll show you something. So every second month they do a field trip. So it'll be in 2 months' time now.
Okay.
Chance for members to get out and around Melbourne with nets and blah, blah, blah. And catch, photograph, and then release basis. So you don't get to keep anything.
No, that's fine though. Well, it's one of my favorite videos still on YouTube. He's not here, but Max S, the one video he did traveling the Northern Territory with his school, was pretty much, it's like he went on his own trip and exactly the same thing. He was testing the water, so he was finding out about the pH, temperatures, and then he caught some. He'd take a little video of them. He put a GoPro in them and just get some footage. That's what I would find super interesting. And then also just to learn and know that knowledge of going, where do these sort of fish live and what is like, because I wouldn't know what the hell's in Flowerdale.
Yeah, and from my standpoint as well, I don't know anything about natives and all that. So a couple of times in our group, there's been what's this fish and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, that's a real weakness I have. So I think it would be great to build those skills and get a bit more in touch with the local environment.
There you go. Gary Lang belongs to that organisation, so there'd be no rock piling, that's for sure.
That's actually how I found out about it. Sorry to talk over you, but I kind of like this story. So this is Agfa is obviously Australia, and they're kind of in the backyard. But I found out about it through Gary Lang on an aquarium co-op podcast, where he was talking about the book. So he was talking about this book that he absolutely loves from Agfa North America, and it ended up with me signing up as a member down here. It's quite funny, I think.
That is crazy. And that's what I think is important as well. Again, yes, I'm referring to the chat yesterday with Rack, but the internet, they didn't have the internet 20, 30 years ago for the hobby. And it's funny that in a way we're still so far behind in the industry that, for an Aussie to learn from an American in an American stream, predominantly based in Americans, that there's something in your own backyard.
So at the end of last year when I went to the auction, and I stayed for the dinner because I wanted to, meet more people and stuff. It was before I was in amongst you guys here, so I didn't know anyone to talk to about fish. And
I thought you were going to say it was before you were married, and I was like, where's this story going?
Nah. But it was really, really funny to sit at a table and hear people talk about scientists that everything's named after, and maybe that they're don't have such a high opinion of them or whatever. It was a great insight to think like Herbert Axelrod or these giant people whose names you would know because you hear them all the time. The inside stories about them is really good.
And so is that now your goal? You want to have a fish named after you?
I don't think I'll be. Look at this skin color. Everyone comments on how see-through it is. I don't think I can stay outdoors enough to discover a fish.
I wonder where that was going. Hey,
you could find a cave fish or something.
Yeah. It wasn't Herbert Axelrod, by the way, who I was thinking of that people didn't think much of, but I can't remember the name.
HC Aqua agreed Max needs to do more videos. Absolutely. I think he said he was working on another one soon. he's got heaps of time off now, so he might as well. Where are we? Yes, Australian Native Fish Association. The organisation has a lot of foreigners involved. However, it still comes down to local government and their control over species.
The one that Chewy's referring to is actually called Australia New Guinea Fish Association. And then there's another one called Native Fish Australia. Which might be interesting to look into as well.
We really should put something like this on the Oz Fish Tubers page or something, or the AFK. Be good to just write it down somewhere easy to track and say this is what's involved, and let other people add to the conversation and say this is what they do, what they know of. Because I mean, I'm assuming it sort of will start from a club level, and then there's other groups that you can be involved in. So Max is the reason that I went to my first fish club auction, and my old man joined up, and I would join up, but obviously at the moment, every couple of months they do an auction, and now obviously nothing's going to happen probably this year again, but it'd be worth jumping onto next year, I think. HC Aqua, it's tacky to name a species after yourself. Someone has to name it after you. Okay. Well,
let me know if you're going to go to an auction, because like I probably wouldn't drive up to
let
Fox
you know
Hill.
if he's going to name a fish after you.
Did Dr. Black just read what I read, or did you say something different? I missed that, sorry.
I thought Blake was about to say, just let me know if you're going to name a fish after me. So I don't know.
I don't think I want to take Blake to an auction, because I think he'd end up buying all the stuff I want to buy or outbidding me.
Nah. I do get a bit carried away in auctions, though.
It was in Nunawading, so it probably wouldn't be too bad. You're just the end of the eastern.
Yeah, so I probably wouldn't drive up, if I was just going to be by myself. But if you're going to be there, I'll drive up. Have a look around.
And I think Max is a regular there as well. Hey, Punchy, what time are you going? Are you still going to go on the dot, or do you want to bring it forward if we close off earlier? We've got a family lunch stream at 1 o'clock, so that's in 42 minutes. So I'll probably have to jump off in the next 15 or so to get ready for that.
Yeah, me too. I've got to go pick up the kitties.
I'm thinking about stripping some Africans. The more I sit here, the more fish I see holding.
Do you want to do some on the stream while we're having a chat? I'll pop you up and.
Yeah, we can do. I've actually found, since doing live streams with like you guys, also on Blake's Aquatics, just sitting in here while streaming, and you guys are like dribbling crap, I end up staring at the fish and like seeing new behavior that I've never noticed before.
We bored him into actually appreciating his own fish. I like
it. Yeah. Whoa, I almost lost the camera again. I got too excited and hit the cord.
Oh, God.
Luckily, the Osmo Action is such a durable and well-made camera that even if it was to fall on the floor, it would still be undamaged.
Yeah, the Pocket Mini.
I'm on my phone.
Oh, so you canned it.
Chewy just saying local governments and also control releases even in oceans. They wanted to release Free Willy. Wait, that just moved then. They wanted to release Free Willy by Norway, and they were told no sad story about that whale. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. There's a lot of things going. You sent me an email yesterday. Thank you for that. I'll check out those links as well. Punchy wasn't bored. She was listening to us and almost forgot that she's actually streaming in 40 minutes.
But on that topic, I'm so glad that I've got my emerald rasboras right next to me. Well known as being like a very skittish fish. And I think because I sit here, for like, 25, 30 hours a month, they are not scared of me at all now, because I'm like basically always sitting in front of their tank. So it's really great. And you get to see some cool behavior that I probably wouldn't otherwise.
That's what I found. Discus was the big one for me, that putting them in the lounge room, after a couple of weeks, they changed their attitude so much. And lots of people say, skittish, but when they're around people all the time, I find that wasn't really such a big issue. Just quickly before I forget, Blake, you sent through a list of fish.
Hey, Pepe. You.
You sent through a list of fish and said, you kept almost all but 6 of them. And I said I'd kept all but 5. And Jesse actually tagged me in that on Instagram, and he had kept every single fish except for the glow light tetra.
Oh, nice.
So that was interesting. I had glow lights for a few years.
Yeah, same. I got them in I think my second or third secondhand tank that I got. It was full of guppies and glow light tetras.
Yeah, I liked them a lot then. And then, when you keep a nice fish when you're, early days, and then you go, oh, I don't want to get them again because I've had them before, but you start to appreciate them again. They're actually the tank sitting right here that I've shown you guys, the one that I'm about to release a video on this week. They're actually in the running, a school of glow lights for that tank. Just glow lights was one that I was thinking. Not sure though, but they're what I'm thinking. Sheev, how are you? Does everyone call him Sheev or Chevy?
Chevy.
Chevet.
Put him to the levee, but the levee was dry.
And Thirsty's back. G'day, Thirsty.
Thirsty's back.
Chevet.
Don't know, just never got them. Can you get them over there, Jesse? Like, is it you just don't see them in the fish shops, or because if you do, I'd strongly recommend grabbing a school and chucking them. I reckon you could find a tank you could put them in, maybe.
Thing is, for me now, if you're going to get a tetra, there are so many tetras, and glow lights, they're, I don't know. There's so many better ones.
Glow light snob. That's what I mean. Like, you feel like they're a simple starter fish, but that's what I mean. All of a sudden, you come back around and go, they are pretty nice. Let's face it.
I really want to keep blue Kerai tetras. You ever seen them? They're not that uncommon.
Blue Kerai. I think so.
I'll bring up a Google image for you.
Is Sir Pronolite having a competition? Why do you ask that? Thirsty?
Yes, he is Thirsty Rabbit. It deserves more plugging.
These are a cool tetra.
5 Aqua made exclusive.
Check this out. We'll have a look at those fish in a sec, Blake.
Not cool.
I'll try to do it with one hand.
What fish is that you've got there?
It's a cobalt blue. Don't tell me she's only got 1 fry in there. This is a really bad example.
Oh, it's all right. That fry is a bit bigger than I would have expected. I would have thought it'd be a bit smaller. Hey, Priscilla, welcome. How are you? Pronounced Chevy, spelt crap.
There's a few more in there. I think that's about it, but the males have been giving the girls quite a hard time, so sometimes they'll swallow some of the eggs and you only get a small mouthful.
Anthony Fishy Friends, how are you?
G'day, Anthony.
I missed the end of your stream the other day, Anthony, but I did see you say that you weren't feeling too well.
That one guy.
It's just a crazy setup. Fish room goals, hey? Just a sec. While we do that, this is the fish that Blake was talking about. Kerry Tetra Blue Emperor. They are stunning.
Nice looking fish. And they're easy as to breed too.
Yeah, says you. You're good at breeding. I'm not.
There's a joke.
I haven't actually seen them in shops or anything.
Yeah, they don't look that good in shops. They minus out this purpley blue color at the top, and that's probably what they look like in a shop.
So in the shop, they sort of look a little bit like a black neon, but with like a blue eye.
Yeah.
A bit smaller.
Yeah, without the white sort of line underneath. Yeah. So pick him up next time. I reckon one day I'll keep a big old school of these.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
awesome. Anthony Fishy friends, thanks for joining my stream, Blackie. I hurled my guts out. That's what I thought was going on when I was there.
I called it. I said that's what he was up to.
The bit that gave it away was that you muted the thing and then ran back to the back of the room. And I'm like, he muted that because something's going to happen.
What did I miss? Was it quite a large night on the Pepsi Maxes? Was it?
I think, yeah. It was fun though. It was fun watching it, guys.
Anthony's drama is that he can't drink a spirit mixed with soft drink, so he drinks his spirits neat.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then when it's a little bit too far gone, it's a little bit too far late.
And he was
that 20-minute catch-up window.
He was keeping pace with me a fair bit.
Rookie. Never try to do that.
Lesson learned, I guess.
Fishy Fun 57. Where are we? Should we live in Alberta? Gave the Easter Bunny a green light to be out tomorrow. An 8-year-old girl wrote a letter asking if the Easter Bunny was in lockdown. Oh, it's funny.
We got that in Perth too. The West Australian Premier did like a press statement saying that the Easter Bunny was exempt from the lockdown.
And then there's this massive virus outbreak in Perth tomorrow, the next week.
Now,
and is GRB saying that he has those tetras?
Yes.
And they live for 5 years. Hey, Nick, keeping fish simple. Welcome. Happy Easter to you too.
Nick. How's it going, Nick?
Also, Aqua Pros keeps them.
Okay. Well, he's frozen.
My Wi-Fi dead, I think.
Remind me after the stream, Blake. I'll forget by the time this is over, but I wouldn't mind getting them for my discus tank.
Oh, those tetras.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good combo.
I've already forgot what they're called.
Yeah, we've pretty much lost Blake, it looks like. Kiwi Mamo, good morning or good afternoon there now. It's afternoon here. Today's flying by. Rumble, I thought I'd lost you as well. I'm like, what's happening?
I just switched Wi-Fi.
Rumble, what's news on your channel this week? And are we going to see you live again at the same time next week?
Yep. So I'll be live next Sunday. I was talking to Mr. B about it this morning, so he's locked that in on his calendar.
Oh, awesome.
So as for the channel, I'm not really sure. I got to put windows in the IBCs. That'll probably just be a one video thing, so it's not a timely process. And I really
the big tanks usually
intermediate bulk container.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
That'd be cool. I don't think I've ever seen
out. Am I lagging out?
No, I think you meant Blake was lagging out. Blackie disappeared.
So there's a few people that have done it, but basically I'm going to cut the front out there and put a window in so you can see the fish.
So what are you going to use as the window, like Perspex or?
Yeah, so I've got Perspex and I've got nylon bolts, which I got off eBay. Timber.
Would you get rid of some of the cage around there as well?
Yeah, so I'll cut the cage out.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, it should be fun. It's not a very big window. It's basically just for me to be able to select the flower horns. Because at the moment it's just so hard. If I could see in the side, I could just do it a bit better. Like at the moment, that's my viewing angle.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Kiwi Mamo has been here a while, so I didn't notice when you came in. So that's because you're hiding at the back, as you said.
Well, I got to shoot off and pick up the kids, but thanks for having me on. I got to go get the kiddies.
Yeah, not a worry. Thank you, Blake. We will see you during the week, I'm sure.
Yeah, always good chatting to you guys, and g'day to everyone in the chat too. Have a good Easter.
See you soon.
See you Thursday night.
Yeah, see you then.
Sunfish for fish. There's an old name I haven't seen for a while. How are you?
Hello, Sunfish.
No, that's cool. So, all right, that's good. So next Sunday, 11 o'clock, Rumble live with Blake, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. What time did you go live? 11 your time.
Yeah, so 9 o'clock your time, is it?
Yeah, and then it's 7 American Eastern Standard, I think. 7 p.m.
7 or 8? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it might be 8
Just
o'clock.
look for the schedule.
Just look for it.
It's easy.
Subscribe to Rumble and hit that notification bell.
There we go.
I watched you guys last week, so I was doing chores. I had you up on the big screen, and I was just listening, and it was a really good chat. Even my wife was listening to the chat, and she's amazed by some of the things you guys were talking about. So it was really good. And it's good that we have the alternate weekend. Dr. Black, you got anything you wanted to cover off today?
Well, Jack and Dan makes mention of Parkway Drive. They come from my neighbourhood. They just live over there.
Really?
I always thought they were from WA for some reason.
I thought they were a Byron Bay band. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, they might be. I might be thinking of Pendulum from WA.
Pendulum and Perth.
Because Pendulum became like the biggest drum and bass band in the world, and Parkway Drive, to a lot of my mates that listen to them, reckon they're one of the best. What would you call them?
Emo band?
Sorry?
Emo band?
Not really. You don't know what emo is until you listen to some of the stuff I used to up.
Yeah, it's terrible. The so many different descriptives there are for metal music now. It's all just loud metal. It's great. Jack
I
and
know.
Dan be all
Actually,
over it.
funny, I grew up listening to a lot of punk, and Blink-182 were my favorite band as a teenager.
Yeah, well, come on. You're calling Blink-182 punk. No, that's just not fair. They were pop music. Pop music.
This is what I was about to say is, so I listened to Nirvana, which were grunge, but then no one else really could create grunge the same way that they did. So then that died, and I listened to a lot of punk, and I would happily argue with you that Blink-182 were definitely punk, but they are pop punk, not punk. And then I was actually watching a thing where they were reacting to kids reacting to their music. So kids that weren't born when these hits came out. And it was really funny, actually. I think Mark Hoppus, who's one of my favorite musicians of all time, if not my favorite, he made a really good point. He just said, genres are dead. There's no genres anymore. Everything's just sort of molds in. You like what you like. It's a bit different. And he said, we started as a pop punk band, but we definitely wouldn't be a punk band now, or a pop band, maybe a pop rock, but it's just, it all sort of molds merged away. And what's really interesting is growing up through all that is now I try and listen to new music and I can't pinpoint what anyone is.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it's good. Genres are a waste of time because music means different things to every single person who listens to it. So it's a futile endeavor to try and classify music into some pigeonhole that only one person believes in.
Anthony Fishy, you're a Link fan, aren't you? I'll try and find it on YouTube and I'll link it for you.
I think a really good example of that merging is like all the electronic hip hop these days, with like the drum and bass and like the dubstep style of music behind the hip hop artists.
Yes. Well, and that was the other thing is you have people blending. There you go, Anthony. That's the link. You have people blending from different different genres of music.
Yeah.
I love it too, because that's the other thing is now I listen to a lot of Aussie. I would say these guys are pop punk sort of, but they're sort of grungy. They sort of sound a bit like Violent Soho. If you guys listen to them at all, they're actually on their the label that Violent Soho created. And then I also like Sophie Tucker, who's like a Portuguese.
Sophie's one of my favorites.
I'm loving her stuff or their stuff, because I think it's Sophie and Tucker or whatever. They're a duo, but I love a lot of that stuff. James Fishroom Fever, welcome.
G'day, Jimbo, Big J, and Fishy Fun. I am familiar with Aussie Outlaw. I've seen quite a few of his streams. Not lately though. But thank you.
I've seen Aussie Outlaw in streams, but I don't think I've seen their streams. Most successful bands have diversity to play any style of music. Queen is a good example. That is true, Chewy. And one thing that I find really interesting, and I used to think this because I hate U2. I don't hate them as in like they're the worst thing ever. I don't get it. Like, they've got a couple good songs, but I was thinking about it. This maybe like 10, 15 years ago. And we have Gold 104, which is all your classic hits. And then we'd have like, what would we have? The Triple M and like your main sort of commercial radio stations. And then we have your sort of more indie, like Triple J sort of stations. And there were two bands that I could think of that would be played on all three of those stations in any given day, and one was U2. The other one was The Living End. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're a good band. Not that I don't mind The Living End, but it was interesting.
I used to love The Living End when I was younger.
I like them.
Made no one to tell us.
My mates were in one of their film clips.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, I can say that now because this has happened. Blink just released a new single called Happy Days. And they did a bit of a challenge. They put it out there to all of their fans to send in a video of them enjoying isolation or, enjoying their music. And me and Harry did a video where I was playing the bass and Harry was playing the drums, and we sent it into them, and we didn't make it. And I was looking through going, are we even in one of the small shots in the background? And I showed it to Harry, and he's like, I don't want to see it again, Dad, because it's making me sad. And I'm like, I know, I don't want to see it. So screw you, Blink.
Dream shattered.
Oh, no. I felt like I haven't told anyone, and I was hoping it would just happen, and I'd be like, hey, check out the Blink film clip. We'd be like, there's Aqua, mate, being an idiot in the corner. I'll have to use some of the footage, actually, as a bonus footage on one of the videos soon and get copyrighted. Triple J, old school. Triple J was good, but it's for 14-year-old girls now. I don't mind it, actually, Thirsty. What I don't mind about it is you can find a couple new bands and new genres that you can sort of enjoy, and I'll listen to it and I'll hate 3 or 4 songs, and then I'll go, oh, what's this? I don't mind this. But I do get blown away because I always listen to the Hottest 100. We go camping. Awesome tradition, the Hottest 100 over the Australia Day weekend, not on Australia Day anymore. But you get to the top 5 and you start going, how the hell is this song number 2 or 3? Like, this is rubbish. And then there's one.
They all do their social media campaigns to push.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just as affected as any other election nowadays.
Actually, you know what would be a really fun thing to do? If someone sat down and wrote an article based on Triple J's Hottest 100 and your generation, what that says about your generation's taste in music. So, like, say from 1990 to 2000, that generation of people had these top 1 songs in the Hottest 100, and you go, they're all classics. And then I feel like you get to now and go, where did we go wrong? Where did we lose our way?
It's called getting old, because are these songs not going to be classics to the kids of today?
I just can't imagine some of them being classics.
It's
I
that's
just
how it
Courtney
seems.
Barnett. That's all. That's
I don't
just a prime example of the shittest music in the world.
Is she the lady out of the Tiger King?
No, she's the one that she came number one like 2 years ago, and she just talks. She doesn't actually sing.
Yep.
She
Hey,
plays
Melissa.
the pretty mean guitar though.
Oh, Melissa, I was
Yeah.
just talking with everybody before, and is there anything on the Australian AFK Fish Keepers Facebook page, like any sort of article or link or post with regards to groups like ANGFA and what was the other one you said, Dr. Black?
Native
So,
Fish Australia.
the hell was that? Was that a koi?
Bird.
Yeah, anything like ANGFA and sorry, what Dr. Black was about to say.
Native Fish Australia.
Native Fish Australia and BioBlitz, any of the sort of conservationist groups, and also fish groups, fish auctions, or anything like that on the Facebook page. I'm
To
assuming.
be honest, I'm a little bit sus about that BioBlitz one.
Yeah, I've just got it up here, and I'm like,
I've got a little bit of a vibe that they're just like a money making organization.
yeah,
Tugging at the heartstrings of people, sort of stuff, asking for donations and all that kind of thing. But I'll definitely look into that a bit more before I actually voice my opinion live on the internet.
you heard it here first. Dr. Black says they're a sham. Not collected, but there are some posts. All right, I was thinking that's sort of like the best location to try and bring it together, and maybe even I'll talk to you off air, Melissa, if we'll try and do a post, and then if we can pin it for like say a week or something, or maybe a couple days, and see if other people in the group know of other groups that they can just put a link in the chat, or sorry, in the comments, because that was what we were talking about, is that we don't all really know about all these groups down under. And even Blake was saying he found out about ANGFA from Gary Lang in America on an aquarium co-op video. So it's a good opportunity for us to sort of get together and see what we've got. Turbofish, hello.
G'day, Turbo.
I actually did a pin post on Aquarium Enthusiasts Australia about a year ago, about like the local societies and stuff, and it got like 0 interest. It was a bit of a letdown, really. I think it's still there if you go through the pin posts, but like nobody got back to me. It's a shame that like everybody just wants Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok now, and nobody wants to actually get involved in getting out of the house and doing stuff. Where's he going?
Letting his misso out the cage. I listen to lots of stuff, Chevy, but metal predominantly I listen to. Many different varieties of metal, but I like lots of other stuff as well.
He likes the whoa sort of metal. I've firsthand experienced it. And the ding, 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 ding. I love that. Actually, Harry actually has written a song that I want to use as an Aquamate theme. I'll try it one day. It's pretty funny. All sorts of posts posting about various things, auctions, meetings, and societies. Yeah, well, that's why it's good to be part of that. Lots of cichlid societies, that's true.
No, that's my way.
Jesse's, I think my oldest daughter watches too much TikTok. What's your basis for too much TikTok, Jesse? Is there such a thing?
More than a minute a day, I think, is too much, isn't it? Just
actually seeing it is too much, I think. It's really bad because I've seen the very innocent side of TikTok and the very evil side of TikTok, and I'm like, I don't know how people. Yeah, I'm not going to be letting Harry on TikTok. That's for sure.
I've never used it, but I am curious because heaps of people. I always thought it was like mainly for younger kids, but a lot of people my age that I am friends with I've noticed have started using it.
You know what'd be funny, which you could do, Rumble, if you did a TikTok. So from what I gather, TikTok is that you put some music over you doing something silly and make a short clip.
Yeah.
If you did a video of you, I've gone blank. What you were doing before, getting the babies out of their mouth, stripping cichlids.
Yeah.
If you stripped a cichlid that had heaps of babies come out, and then put it with like a really fast rap. I reckon that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Viral.
Like
the other thing with like social medias, Instagram's a perfect example. I started Instagram as Rumble's Fish Room, so it's really easy for me to be behind that persona instead of my personal name. Whereas like Facebook, I couldn't just go and change my personal profile to Rumble's Fish Room because it's all family and stuff. Whereas if I'm starting on a new platform, I can just go like balls to the wall and not worry about a personal one.
Yeah, I find it funny because I was just saying this to my wife yesterday. I jump on Facebook and I click on the video section and I just watch funny videos. I don't look at whose birthday it is or what someone ate for dinner last night and someone's relationship status that they're overcompensating because something's going wrong in the bedroom or whatever. I just watch impractical jokers and stupid stuff and just lay there and just laugh. I love impractical jokers at the moment. It is, I don't know. It's getting me through isolation.
Hey, Chewy, have you been listening to Devin Townsend's podcast? He's going in great detail into the production of his albums. It's fantastic.
Devin Townsend, what's the story with him? He had some album. Is it just like a blue album with like a face? I'm trying to remember it because I have a feeling a couple of years ago I decided to give it a go and I loved it. And then now I've forgotten what the album was.
It was probably, I think one of the blue ones was Devin Townsend Project.
Yeah, that's right.
Done multiple albums with them. And then there's Devin Townsend Band. Then there's Devin Townsend. And there's Strapping Young Lad.
It's like this whole world of people.
I went to school with someone named Devin Townsend.
Oh, fair income.
I've never really listened to him, but
very, very talented lad.
One of my friends on Facebook is always catching them live whenever they come to Perth. He messaged me like, "Oh yeah, you want to come see Devin Townsend?" I was like, "I don't even actually know who it is."
Yeah, awesome. No, I had no idea who it was, and it's like it's funny because it sounds like most of the stuff that he did was like during the years that I was growing up and stuff, and I never really heard of him.
Still going.
Yeah.
I went and saw him in Brisbane, going back maybe about 5 years now, and loudest show I've ever been to.
Ocean Machine is the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's great record.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to go until 1 o'clock because we're going to get ready for lunch, but it seems that it doesn't really matter at the moment. So let's stick it out another 10 minutes, and then if we can all jump over to Punchy Paints and say Happy Easter and hello to Punchy, that would be awesome.
I'm right there with the Ugly Man. Maiden, definitely one of my faves.
Iron who?
Iron Maiden.
I'm kidding. Probably the heaviest I got into was like The Refused.
Oh, they're a great band.
Love them. Shape of Punk to Come is one of the best albums of all
That's
time.
a very good record. Very good record indeed.
Um,
Chewy mentioning Megadeth. The last time I saw Megadeth, they did they were doing the Holy Wars tour where they were playing the Holy Wars album right through. And I've seen Megadeth before, and Dave Mustaine was quite shit, but on the Holy Wars, he just nailed it. His guitar playing was fantastic, and his singing voice was on point. I was very impressed with Dave after seeing that tour.
I was thinking yesterday again. During these weird times, we have lots of time to think, and I was thinking of sending all my mates a message and getting them to tell me like 6 albums each or something, and then do each day just put one album up against another, and then we all vote and choose which album was better than the other and see. But they have to be albums from between. We went to high school in 97 till 2003, so they have to be from our high school days. So we all grew up with them. And I'd really love to see where we land. And I reckon that it would land on the heavier metal side than the punky side. So my albums would probably fall by the wayside pretty quick. But I don't know. It'd be really interesting.
Did you ever listen to Incubus?
Yep. Yes. And I have a few Incubus live DVDs. Like to chuck that on in the background.
That'd be cool.
They're a very good band.
Bit of Limp Bizkit. Bit of Slipknot.
I can't remember who it was. Like Limp Bizkit, like at a live gig, like thanked somebody for the inspiration, and then like the person gave like a reply message like, I'm so embarrassed that Limp Bizkit used me as an inspiration. They're absolute shit.
Was it Mike
I can't
Patton?
remember who it was. I think it might have been.
That's the sort of thing Mike Patton would do. And I love the interview because for those that don't know, I can see mainly Aussie names here anyway, but Wolfmother, when they were out, and then they were playing and they were interviewing Mike Patton while Wolfmother were playing. He's like, what is this? What is this shit? It's just, they're just Led Zeppelin ripoff. They're a cover band. And he was just so disgusted in them. I'm like, I think Mike Patton would be a weird unit to be around. We're close in age, Melissa. Ooh, trying to figure out who's older then. JH Aquatics, hope you're staying safe and getting a flight out of where you are and to where you would like to be real soon. Yes, Korn. Freak on a leash. Follow the leader.
Korn's a band where I only liked a few songs, but like I really liked a few songs, but didn't like all of their music much.
Nah, same. Lumpy Dog says, here's a Motley Crue. Nice punning entrance. Love it. Yeah, absolutely. Jump up, use the link in the Hangouts chat, but we are going to jump over to Punchy in 6 minutes. So jump up, say hello.
One of my absolute all-time favorite bands is Steel Panther.
Oh, same. Did I tell you? I feel like I've said this to you guys before, but I went to a festival and it was Steel Panther, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, Bush, Marilyn Manson, System of a Down. I'm forgetting some bands as well. It was crazy. We had to leave.
I think
System of a Down.
That concert is the concert that I learned who they were. I'm pretty sure that was.
Yeah, I've gone blank.
I can't remember what it's called. It was like Stereosonic on the Saturday, and then it was that on the Sunday.
Yes. I really have gone blank. Soundwave.
That's the one.
Yeah, it was awesome. Joseph got to hang out with Korn and Limp Bizkit at the trailer once. Worked for MTV at one point. Wow. Aquariums are so metal. I've got a metal aquarium right here. It's shocking if you stay grounded. What's going on? There we go. Hey. Oh, he's dancing.
Hello.
You listening to some Limp Bizkit too?
I don't know who that is.
Oh no.
How are you, Budgie?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. Has anyone got
saw-
a link for Pam's stream that's going to start in a few minutes?
Yeah, my timing wasn't so great, was it?
No, that's all right. Though it's good to have you up though. Better than-
Yay.
Oh, that's a bit noisy.
If Blake is going to be standing there, I'm going to lose it.
How come you were asking about fish this morning, Podgy? Did you lose some?
No, I just have to refill the carbon copy tank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's good. I was sitting and looking at the fish with my dad, and he was like, "How would an arowana look in here?" And I was like, "Ooh, it's a good idea."
Just get him a Saratoga and don't tell him the difference.
Well, I've had like 3. I think I've had 3 before. So he kind of knows his fish because of me. But like, I don't know. I just thought having like one big fish in here that you can just see instantly would be kind of
Arowana
cool.
would look like jail time. That's what it would look like.
By that time, I meant the native Australian version.
The Saratoga.
Yeah, that guy.
I still think, obviously besides arowana, you've got like the $20,000 ones. But as far as like the silver arowana,
You can get them for like a few $100.
Saratoga Giardini is a much better looking fish in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's just because people want something that is like risky or illegal that it's got the hype.
It's not
It's
also
a plain-
that. Yeah, it's that. But then you also got such a big influence from like America, where you've got he's going in for the kill again.
He is.
I don't
Apparently-
get it. It's a
Yeah.
Apparently, it was Corey that said that from Slipknot about Limp Bizkit, not Mike
I
Patton.
think it's a fairly long line of people that have said that over the last 20 years.
Can't relate.
Zach Wilde is also famous for saying Limp Bizkit suck at his live concerts.
What about Eminem saying that Moby sucks?
Moby does suck.
Yeah, I don't listen to
Moby's
music.
awesome.
Didn't they end up doing?
I always. Pardon?
Did they end up doing something together?
I'm not sure.
I
It's
might
probably
be
all
wrong.
just
I might be thinking
promo.
Elton John.
I haven't heard of it, but I always end up like I'll be listening to an Eminem playlist and that song will come on, and then he'll be like talking about Moby, and then I'll be like, I feel like listening to Moby. So the next song I'll put on the playlist is like a Moby track. So I listen to them one after the other.
The only music I listen to is YouTube background music.
I've got a
Yes, I listen to that sometimes in the car. Try and
I've got a
find.
book here that
Moby
highlights
Oh,
what
nice.
Moby is.
Nah, I don't know. I love Moby.
Oh, she started. Jeez.
Let's switch.
How's YouTube not telling it there? No, it does there. 29 seconds ago.
I didn't get that notification except for this one right here.
I'm like, what? All right, we'll jump over there.
Quickest live stream ever.
Fish Room Fever and Dr. Black have just put a link over there. So thank you everyone for stopping by and joining. Remember to hit the like button if you haven't already. We will be, well, I won't be here, but I'll be here next Saturday morning or Friday night with Swisky. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. And then the next day, Rumball's Fish Room will be on live. We've got all the fun during the week with Dr. Black. Wednesday night. Is it Wednesday night for them? Tuesday night. And all these times, they confuse me. And Blake on Thursday night.
Blake's Aquatics, Thursday night, Australia.
I don't
That's
have a
it.
schedule.
Yeah, you just go live whenever you want, don't
Yeah. I'll say like 8:30 and then go live at 4.
you? Yeah, I remember. Thank you, everyone.
Cool.
Have a great Easter.
All right.
Enjoy as much as you can.
See you guys.
Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Bye,
Skadoosh.
everybody.